Hey everybody, got another interview for you. You guys want them, so I bring them to you. Thanks for tuning in. This week we have Zelick, singer, bass player, I believe, from the
Bass
band
player.
from the
Yep.
band Black Jacket out of Miami, Florida.
Black Jacket out of Miami, Florida. Yep.
How are you doing? Thanks for being on the show.
Uh,
Um, hey, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm good, man. No,
Okay,
that sound kind of sucks,
yeah,
dude. Sorry.
it's Skype. That's how we're used to it
Yeah.
here on the show. Um, let's just get right into it. I got a whole lot I want to talk to you about, but the first thing I want to do. Everybody knows I don't do research on bands. I do Google the band because I need to post shit online on our blog and shit. The name of your band is Black Jacket. It's There's a bunch of bands out there sort of with Black Jacket involved in it. How did you come about your name, and is it does it factor in, or is it a bad trip for you, or do you give a fuck that it's hard to Google you?
Um, we're a brand new band, so the fact that it's not easy to Google us at this point in time doesn't really bother me. And me personally, in all the bands I've ever been in, I suck at coming up with band names. My singer and my guitar player actually came up with the band name, and we liked the way it sounded, and we checked on Google to see if there was any original bands doing anything, called Black Jacket, and we didn't find anything, not in the U.S. anyway, so we're like, fuck it, let's use it. Sounds good. Our drummer came up with a cool logo, and, it works.
Very hot, very cool stuff. You got shirts and everything.
Yeah.
Let's talk about you. The rest of the band weren't able to make it today. That's cool. Let's talk about you first, then. What type of influences on you get you to Black Jacket? Now, Black Jacket, I've listened to some tracks. Is it safe to say that it's hard rock? I'm not good
I
at this
guess I,
stuff. What
I
would
would
you consider it?
I would classify it as hard rock in a broad sense. There's some, classical retro elements to it. There's some modern rock, influence in it. It's definitely not metal. Um, so yeah, I guess hard rock would be the way to go. And I've been in so many different musical projects in my life, and this just kind of feels right now. This is the kind of music we feel like making, and ultimately in a band, it's like, the music business is a business, and we all know that. But first and foremost, you got to make music you like and you enjoy playing, or else what's the fucking point?
You mentioned you are not heavy metal. Do people think that you are? Do they go to heavy metal? I have to admit, when me and the intern Mark were listening to your EP, there was a point where we thought we heard, we're bantering about, and one of the terms that came up, band names, was Metallica. There was a track, one of the tracks, I think it's one of the later tracks, that sounded very, the softer side of Metallica. And we asked ourselves, is this heavy metal? Because heavy metal is kind of something that's hard to pinpoint nowadays. What is heavy metal? I know it's out there. I know
Right.
it's out there. But is it lame to be considered that? I mean, I don't.
I don't think so. I mean, I come from a time, and I grew up in a time where, heavy metal was very specific. There was a very specific genre of what heavy metal was, and it did encompass a broad variety of metal. And I guess we do have elements of that heavy metal, but I think kids nowadays, and I think people nowadays, classify heavy metal in so many different ways. I don't know. It's so tough to say. I guess we have metal influences, and there's metal. We're definitely part metal, but I think hard rock as a broad, really broad genre, I think better classifies us. I hate classifications of
Yeah,
music,
it's rough.
period.
I
We're a
really.
rock, we're a fucking rock band. Take it or leave it. There's different kinds of rock. If you don't like us, fuck off and move on. It's all good.
I love it. The whole genre thing is the worst thing for me. Like I think everything is either rock or R&B and hip hop, and like those are the different kinds, and then everybody just tries to be different and fits himself into something. So I would say rock and roll is what I'm going to call you.
Thank
guys.
you. I appreciate that.
And I would say Metallica is rock and roll, and all of them, and it's just very interesting. What for the record though? Let me ask you this question because I have a hard time with this stuff. Is there a band out there that you would say is heavy metal? Because Metallica might not be metal anymore.
I don't know, man. I mean, that's a good question. That Shadows Fall kind of harkens back to some of the old thrash stuff, and You know, Kill Switch Engage. You know, those are bands that I'm friends with, that I've toured with in the past. But I guess that would be Shadows Fall. Really got that sound to me of that old thrash days. But I don't know, man. It's tough. I really don't find myself listening to a lot of new music other than like now that I'm in an indie band again, or an independent, you know, unsigned band again, that I'm starting to really listen to unsigned bands and really get into that, especially with the social media world. But as far as some of the popular music these days, I'm not really I'm not digging a whole lot of it right now. So it's tough for me to answer that question.
Good. Me too. I have the hardest time. Like, people ask me about it. There's some band called the Harvey Danger or something. Danger or something. I don't know. It's a friend of mine told me this is what heavy metal is. And we played some of it, and I didn't even know what I was listening to. It didn't remind me of anything that I would have considered from my day what heavy metal is. You mentioned being independent, unsigned. One of the questions that I do ask bands that don't have labels, I'm assuming you're not on a label, you don't have...
Not on a label, and we're representing ourselves right now.
So this DIY movement is sort of everywhere. The internet has made it possible. It's something that I do. I don't have management or anything. I do everything myself. I let the world help me by telling me who they want to hear, etc. I use social media for everything. It's possible out now to get away with not having that stuff. Do you see a point where you feel like you're going to need management or a label, or you just, fuck it, we don't need that shit, we're going to do it?
I come from a time when you needed management and you really needed a label, and, you know, my old band had a label. We had management. You know, we were managed by the same management company that managed Pantera. We were touring. We got signed to Columbia Records, and we were touring with all the big names. You name it: Marilyn Manson, Korn, Chevelle, Disturbed. Did Ozfest 2003. You name it, I've done it. And at that time, you know, bands were getting $400,000 or $500,000 advances, and we were getting tour support, and we were going out in buses, and we were making music videos for 50, 60, 70 grand a piece. But you know, these days it's totally different, and the reality is that as a DIY band, you have so much more artistic control, creative control, and really control of your own destiny as, you know, if you're treating it like a business. Oh, we got some sirens going on.
It's the real world, bro. That's rock and roll, man.
Some old bitch just died. I don't know. No, it's all good. So the truth is that it's almost a double-edged sword. You know, you want to be able... Look, ultimately, if I could find some investors, you know, someone who just loved Black Jacket so fucking much, they wanted to give us hundreds of thousands of dollars, I'll take it and run with it, man, you know, and we'll do it all ourselves, and we'll kick major ass. If not, we just gotta, you know, do what we do and keep plugging away, and hopefully enough people hear it and start a movement. I mean, that's really all you can do. That's all you can do, is hope to start a movement.
That's how it is. So, you know, the internet has made wonders. Like, you know, I don't feel like I need any type of help. You know, like right now, like I feel like I'm doing quite well. You mentioned you were in a lot of bands. You named off some, you know, you played with some really, really big bands. What bands have you played in?
Well, I didn't really want to get into this, but it's cool. I'll make a quick mention, but use it if you want to. I was in a band called Endo for a long time, and we were signed to Columbia Records. We released 2 records and shot a couple videos that were on MTV at the time when MTV was playing music videos. And then we broke up in 2005, and I got out of the music business for a while. And then in 2008, and you know, anyone who listens to heavy music's gonna fucking rail me for this, but I auditioned and got hired to play bass for Scott Stapp of Creed. The reason I took that tour was because he was doing tours of the military installations throughout the Middle East and Europe, and I was not a Creed fan, still not a Creed fan, but I took that opportunity to play for the troops, and it was extremely rewarding, and probably the best tour I've ever done in my entire life, and I've been all over the world touring. So my experience is pretty varied. My drummer was in a very big heavy metal band in the early 2000s out of Chile. They were one of the biggest bands in Chile called Requiem. And then my guitar players toured with all kinds of people, man, throughout the years. Typo Negative, this, that, the other. But yeah, we've been around the block, so we got plenty of experience.
Right on. So what? So you are in Miami. Here's a question that I'm one of the things that I really like about doing what I do is I get to talk to bands from all over the place, and I get to hear what's going on in certain cities. I did just recently speak to a punk rock band called Pool Party out of Miami. I don't know if you've heard of them.
No, I haven't heard of Pool Party.
There's some crazy cats. There's some pretty crazy cats.
Okay.
Anyways, I talked to them. They said there's a pretty vibrant punk rock scene. Now, when someone says Miami, I don't think that's the first thing people think of. I don't think the first thing people think of either is hard rock.
At all.
What is the hard rock scene in Miami like? Is it big? Because the punk rock scene apparently is pretty big in certain circles, from what they said.
It could be. We're not in the punk rock scene, and I'm not a punk rock guy, anyways, as you can tell. But it could be vibrant down here. But historically, Miami has not been a very good town for rock in general. Typically when you go to a show in Miami, usually it's the band's friends and families that are at the show, and loyalty's tough to come by down here. It's always been like that. Back in the early 2000s, it really wasn't. I mean, that was a time when you could draw 500, 600, 1,000 kids to a show, but that's really tough to do right now. I hate to slam where I'm from because I do love it, but, the fact that we don't even have a rock station in the entire Tri-County area, which is about the size of Los Angeles and all of its suburbs, is pretty sad. Yep. So internet radio has been such a boon and a revolution. Things, guys like you doing what you do it's amazing. So Miami's a little bit dead for the rock scene, but we're hoping to help bring that back. There's some great bands down here we're starting to connect with. There's a band called Urban Rebel down here that you should probably take a listen to. They've been around for a while. And we're going to try and start a movement down here again. I mean, that's all you can do is create a buzz, and eventually if you make enough fucking noise, someone's going to listen.
Are you touring at all?
No. This band is actually brand new.
Oh.
We started getting together a year ago. And in March, we actually finished our record and released it and started the whole campaign. That's when I started calling all of my ex-contacts and everything and really started pushing the band. So we're really brand new. We've only played 6 shows in town, and we're still working on, making Black Jacket the best that it can be, because we're not going to go out there half-ass. We're all too professional for that. And while we're ready to tour, we're still kind of... we just want to get the word out. I want to be able to go on tour and play in front of people. So we got to just keep plugging away.
So you said this is a new band. Do you guys have day jobs, or is rock and roll your job?
Yeah. Well, as most bands will say, we do have day jobs.
Can you tell us what your day job is? I
don't care. I work for an internet marketing firm. Our company builds websites. We do search engine optimization, shit like that. I used to be a phone salesman, so that's kind of how I started in this company. Now I'm a project manager. I hate sales, although I'm good with people. I'd much rather just manage projects. I have my own schedule. It's a great job. I couldn't ask for a better job, especially doing rock and roll. My drummer is a 3D animator and a film director, so we got all of our artwork comes from him. All of our designs, everything we do in the visual concepts come from him, which is awesome to have in the band. And then our guitar player and singer, they're contractors. So, everyone's got their day jobs, but rock and roll is really what we want to do, obviously.
Yeah, that's cool. So, you do have this EP out. I did take a listen to it. I found it on Reverb Nation. Is there anywhere else that people can find this EP? And what is the name of the EP?
The EP is self-titled. It's just Black Jacket, self-titled EP. You can find it, to listen to it and stream. It's available just about anywhere you can think of. It's available on Reverb Nation /Black Jacket FL. It's available on Facebook through the Reverb Nation app /Black Jacket Band. You can go to SoundCloud and listen to it /Black Jacket Band. You can go to MySpace if anyone uses that anymore /Black Jacket FL. So it's pretty much anywhere you can think of where music will be that people go to. It's also available on iTunes for purchase. You can purchase it on iTunes. You can buy physical CDs from our merchandise store, which is blackjacket.storeenvy.com, or you can just go to our Facebook page and click the link. It'll take you there. And you can get these kick-ass t-shirts, too.
So is that the only t-shirt you guys have, or do you have a bunch?
Yeah, that's the only t-shirt we have now. This is the Gene Simmons and me coming out, a fellow tribes person.
when someone buys that shirt, does it come with sleeves?
No, it does not. Yes, it does come with
okay,
sleeves.
Okay,
Right?
okay,
Yes,
that's
it
cool.
does.
So people can decide if they want to go sleeveless or not, right?
Yeah, that's my shtick, man. The
Yeah, no,
sleeveless thing. I've always
it's
had
cool. I just
it.
wanted to know. Sometimes you never see them without the sleeves. I was wondering if we do it without
That's
the
right.
sleeves. That's cool.
So hey, that whole drinking part of your show. So if I say fuck, shit, pussy ass cunt, everyone's got to drink, right?
Exactly. I'll drink to that.
I like that.
That's hot. Okay, we did listen to one of the things that we like to do here when we have a band on. And me and Mark will listen to the album that is available to that band, the most recent one. This being your self-titled EP. We both listen to the album in its entirety, and we both pick a song that we think is our favorite. And then we tell you what they are, and then you are going to tell us who's cooler by the song that we picked. Are you down with that?
I'm totally cool with that. I'll throw one of you under the bus. That's all good.
Okay, so I picked Your Touch specifically because I think there's a lyric in there that's like, I want to feel what it's like inside of you again. And I just thought that was some rock and roll shit. And he picked Too Much Bitch. Who's cooler?
Oh, I think I lost you.
Can you hear me? Can you see me?
I can. The screen is. It looks like. Yeah, I'm getting. Can you hear me?
Yes. How about I call you right back?
Okay. Yeah, because my thing's spinning right now, so I think. Wait.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh, let's see, because you're frozen on my side, but let's give it a second. Maybe you'll speed up. If not, I'll call you right back.
All right.
This is no problem. This is a Skype thing that everybody's.
Yeah, my green light went off for a second on my computer or whatever.
Let me call you right back.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see if this one works. There we go.
All right, cool.
All right. So, who's cooler, me or Mark, the intern? He picked Too Much Bitch. I picked Your Touch.
Wow. I don't know. Too much bitch is a fan favorite, but I'm pretty fond of Your Touch, so I'm gonna say Ronnie's cooler.
Ah.
Yeah, I like that.
You get to put another check next to my name. He won the last interview we did. He won. Yeah, it happens sometimes.
That's our party rock song, you know.
Yeah. Oh. They want to purchase this EP. They can go to iTunes. They want to just stream it, listen to it. Reverb Nation, MySpace, etc. Correct?
Exactly.
I'll make sure that all those links are on the blog for them to listen to.
Killer.
I do. Every time that we talk to anybody, there's a few questions that I like to ask them that I think give me a good sense of who these people are. I'm going to ask you these few questions. Is that okay with you?
That's fine with me.
Right. First question is, are unicorns overrated?
Unicorns are so fucking overrated. So overrated. They're not cute. They probably smell like shit. And just because they're white doesn't mean they're clean.
Very true. Favorite alcoholic beverage?
Beer. And single malt scotch. I can't lie. I have two. It depends if I'm watching my weight or not. If I'm watching my weight at the time, it's single malt scotch all the way. Preferably a Glenmorangie.
This is not one of those questions, but because you just talked about your weight, is being overweight not rock and roll?
No, not at all. I don't think so. I'm just a small guy. So if I put on too many pounds, I look funny.
Okay. With that said, back to the questions. Have you ever been so drunk you've fallen down?
Yes, but it's been a very long time.
What is the weirdest thing about yourself?
The weirdest thing about myself? God, everything. Fuck, I don't know. I don't know. That's a really hard question to answer.
It's a rough one unless you have something really, really weird. See, this is why I ask this question, and why I say it gives me a good sense of what people are like. Is if there's something really weird about you, you know what it is, and you're like this with it. And if you don't,
I would think so.
Yeah,
I would think so.
So basically, when I love this question because it's basically what I think I get out of it is this person weird or not? As a person that's like, I don't really know, there's a lot of stuff, but I can't pinpoint one. Not so weird, but when someone says, oh yeah, I got this fucking skin tag or something like that, then you know something's weird.
I think that anyone who pursues a career in music is inherently weird and inherently touched. So I guess we're all touched.
Very true.
A little bit.
Last question from this batch. What is your favorite curse word?
Oh, man. Fuck.
It's a classic.
Fuck, of course. Fuck. I like cunt too. The girls don't like that too much, but it's a really good way to tell a girl off.
Yeah, you can hurt their feelings pretty quick.
Yeah.
What do you have planned for you guys next? I know you have this EP. Are you thinking about a full length? Are you thinking about touring? What is next for you guys?
Well, right now, what we're doing is we're playing out just to get our chops up and to get the feeling of being back on stage again. We try not to play too much because the whole idea of like, oh, if this if Black Jacket plays 4 times a month, though I just saw him last month, why am I going to go see him again? And you also kind of want to keep, I feel, a little bit of mystery in the whole thing. Not give away too much. So what we've been doing is in between gigs we're writing and writing and writing and writing and writing because ultimately we're going to want to release more music. And this EP was recorded not in the traditional way that we would have liked to, because when we first started this band, none of us knew where it was going to go, and we kind of just did it for fun, and we had some free studio time available to us. So we were like, oh, we just wrote these 5 songs, let's fucking go and record them, and didn't really think about production at the time. Didn't necessarily record it the right way, but luckily I was able to get a great deal from the guy who mixed my prior band's second record. He's worked with everyone from the Chili Peppers to Tom Petty and in between, and he mixed our record and really saved it and made it sound as good as it sounds now, because if we wouldn't have had him mix it, I never would have released it. But we're writing, and we're going to probably record more music. I mean, this day and age, it's the whole, it sucks, but albums are a thing of the past. People just don't buy albums anymore. They don't care about albums. So it almost makes sense to just record another couple songs and release a couple songs and keep doing that. And, people are buying singles now, which is okay. I hate to think of it that way, but, you got to move with the times, I guess. That's
how it is, yeah?
And ultimately, yes, we want to be on tour, and I'm networking, and I'm building up my... we're building our arsenal of contacts with bands all over the country, and shows like yours and internet radio stations and social media is helping us greatly to find bands to play with.
Come on. Is there anything else that you want to tell the world, with people here in Hawaii particularly, before I let you go?
Just give Black Jacket a listen. Leave it up to you to decide whether you like it or not. We're putting out quality rock and roll. We have a ton of heart, and we kick some fucking ass, and we will be coming to a town near you. Hawaii probably later rather than sooner. No offense, it's just really far away and expensive to get there. But keep supporting your local independent artists, because I'm from the old school, and while everyone has got that argument of music should be free, should be free, guess what? It's an expensive hobby or an expensive career to follow, and it's not easy to be in a band and do what we do and pour our hearts out. And it costs money to make records that you all enjoy. So just whenever you can, support local music, support your bands that you love. Whether or not it's financially, if you can spread the word, help spread the love. It takes 2 seconds to share a post. It takes 2 seconds to listen to a song and share it. Just keep it going. Keep the movement going.
I love it. For those out there that have been listening that weren't paying really fucking attention, where again can they find you online?
You can go to blackjacketband.com. Our website's under construction, but right now it forwards to our Facebook page, so that's the easiest way to find us. You can find us on Twitter at blackjacketband. You can go to reverbnation.com/blackjacketfl, like Florida, and you can find all of our links to our merchandise. You can find our iTunes links. You can listen. You can go find us on SoundCloud, anywhere. Just do a little searching, and you'll find us eventually.
Cool. Well,
you'll be glad you did.
I think so too. I enjoyed what I listened to, and I think that anybody who takes a listen to it is going to enjoy it.
Thank you.
Because it's good stuff. I mean, it's not. I think that it's an area that's not really tapped anymore, and I think it's something different, really, right now. I really enjoyed listening to it, and I think everybody else will.
Thanks.
Thank you for being on. I really appreciate it, and. For real, hit us up whenever you got something new. If you got something new, tell me, and we'll put it out there.
Awesome, Ronnie. Thank you guys very much.
No problem. Before you
Have
do
a
go,
good
though,
night.
are
Yes.
you down to cut a little bumper for me, like one of those? Hey, this is
Oh, yes.
Zelick from Black Jacket. You're watching Beneath Everything. The show's called Beneath
What?
Everything with Ronnie Rucker.
Yeah, absolutely. Beneath Everything with Ronnie Rucker.
So feel free.
Okay. What's up, y'all? This is Zelick with Black Jacket, and you're watching Beneath Everything with Ronnie Rucker. Get your fucking rock on.